Hello! Today we are going to do another video in the series on how to stamp. I got a real giggle the other day. I saw a stamping video that was like, all you need to know about nail stamping, and it was 15 minutes long. I chuckled. Let's look at this top row here. I hope you were looking at that while I was on my segue from something else. We're going to talk about background stamping. I have another video on this that shows a bunch of different background stamp ideas that I'll link in this video somewhere. Background stamping is something that you can use to just kind of give your look a little more punch. Like, let's say you don't want to just go in and do a plain old stamp. You're going to do a little punch of a stamp. That's what background stamping's for. So in order to get a good manicure to begin with, you need a solid base. I talk about Peeloff Basecoat a lot. I use Peeloff Basecoat a lot, mostly because I film nail videos. Someone had posted in one of my nail groups, I don't remember if it's a Maniology one or not, how often or what's the fastest you've ever changed a manicure. I have literally done 6 in a day, one on each hand, you know, 1, 2, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. I've literally done 6 in a day, so I've taken pictures, taken it off, did the next one. So I do use a lot of Peeloff Basecoat because of that. But if I want something to stay on, I'm going to use Orly rubber base coat. I really like that one. It stays on fairly well. I also like the Sally Hansen 7-in-1, especially if you have ridges in your nails. So it's important to get a good foundation on your nails and then a good base color. This color is Love Potion from Maniology. It's not so great as a paint-on polish for 1 coat. It's definitely a 2-coater. I do believe it stamps in 1 coat though, so it's weird that some of their polishes do that. But overall I like it. I like the color. I think it's a pretty color and it looks nice with my skin tone, so that's what we're going to use for the base. I'm kind of just in a Valentine's Day mood super early. I'm not sure why. I am all into the pinks and reds and hearts right now. I don't know what's up. I maybe just need to do like a Valentine compilation video and get it out of my system. So I did the Peeloff base coat, 2 base coat colors, and then I always do a layer of clear top coat. That's a quick dry top coat in between my base layer and my stamping. Why do you do that, you may ask? 1, it helps your polish dry faster. 2, if you make a mistake, you can use a nail art brush and wipe some of it away, hopefully. And if you have to do that, then all you have to do is put another layer of top coat on and you're good to go. So I do always, and I'm very particular about this top coat right here. I want to make sure everything is covered. I want to make sure everything is dry and that it's part of a good foundation for my actual stamping and the manicure design. So once you've done that on all the nails, you need to look for stamping designs that are dainty. Now you can use heavier designs if you're going to reverse stamp on top of it and cover up a lot of it. But if you don't use something dainty and you're just going to do a simple stamp on top, the problem that you run into is it's just too much for the eyes and you can't really focus in the right place and it just kind of looks messy. So if you're doing just a simple solid stamp on top, do something dainty in the background. If you're doing a heavier stamp in the background, you're going to need a reverse stamp on top of that. Now, if you look at my index finger here, I am putting liquid latex around the cuticles on all of my nails. Do you see how that flooded in? I'd left this in so I can show you how to fix that because it's super easy. And if you wanted to leave it, you could, but you're going to lose some nail estate when you actually stamp. But if you want to fix it, it's a very simple fix. You just have to let it dry first. Dry, dry, dry. Look at my poor little brush. This is the Halloween latex, and I do love this one, so the more I use it, the more I like it. I actually think it works better once it gets a little more air in the bottle. It gets a little bit thicker, and I like it that way. Now, I got this stuck in there on the pinky. Do you see how it's still a lighter pink? It hasn't dried all the way yet. So because it hasn't dried yet, if I start poking at it, it just kind of smushes down. It's kind of pillowy and smushes. The index finger is dry, but you can see here I can kind of pull it away. You just take a cuticle stick or something and just kind of dig into it a little bit and push back. This is another reason why it's a good idea to make sure you have that top coat on. So if you make a mistake on top of it, Everything's dry. It gives you some wiggle room. Now I'm going to go in and use this very thin design because again, I want a dainty design. I'm not reverse stamping. So we're going to go through, we're going to scrape, and if you haven't seen how to stamp, I will link that video in here too. Here's the thing. The daintier the design, the faster you need to stamp because it will dry faster because there's not as much polish to hold in the spaces on the stamping plate. So you got to be quick when you're using designs like this. It literally stamp, like polish, scrape, stamp, go. Like you have a little bit of time to tap off if you get excess on there, which is what I'm doing when I go off camera, but not much. So you do have to be quick with it. And you see it's just giving it a little subtle design in the background. I've tried this both ways as well with a darker base and a lighter stamping polish on top. And I almost always like it better with the light as the base and the darker on top. Not sure why, but I tend to think it looks better that way. You'll have to experiment and let me know what you think. And again, we're just going to go through and do this on all the nails. Now, why do you do this? It gives it texture. It gives it depth. It kind of looks a little wallpapery. It gives you something else to focus on just to give it a little more oomph to a mani. So I really do like doing this. And when I was looking through some videos, I hadn't seen that I'd done much like this in the past. So I really wanted to show this to you. And you definitely need to check out the different background ideas I have. Those are not all stamping, but they're super cool and a lot of fun and another fun way to really lift up your manicure. I top coated again. Now, and I'm just checking to make sure it's dry there. Let me tell you why I top coated again after that first stamp. I have been really paying attention to the smudging issue lately, and I think that it is because polishes that were dry are getting wet again when I stamp on top of them. So although it is an extra layer of clear coat, if it keeps things from smudging and smearing without me having to use a quote-unquote smudge-free top coat, it makes my day. It literally makes my heart happy, and that's what we're going to do. And I noticed on this one, I had 0 streaks. Sometimes I get them and I edit them out. It's rare, but I do. But I try to keep my nail photos as honest and true as possible. If there happens to be a dog hair or cat hair stuck in it, I will edit that out. But aside from that, not so much. So if you look, see how these designs, it's a thick color, it's a bold color on top. Everything behind it is kind of softer and more subtle than the bright black of the actual stamping that I'm doing here. And that's what makes it background stamping. You could go in and do like a white background or a base color with a very pale gray on top. You could do a light brown with a little bit darker brown on top. Look at the paper behind me. That would be great for background stamping. So there's a lot you could do with it. Let me know what you think below. I'm very curious if you think this will be something you've never tried and it'll be fun to try, or if you like the idea. Let me know what you think. There's another video you can watch in the right hand corner. I appreciate you being here. Bye bye.